Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to day 9 of the 31 Days of Horror. DBougie86 here again. That is right, peeps. Alright, guys, today we go back into the land of found footage with one that kind of came out before the term found footage was a thing in horror, really, and that is a film from, I think, 1989, and that's the McPherson Tape. Uh, yeah, the McPherson Tape was a film that I actually knew about from its alternate title when it was known as UFO Abduction back in the late 90s, I believe, when that cut of the movie came out. You could actually watch both versions of the film on this Blu-ray from American Genre Film Archive with Bleeding Skulls anticipation. But the McPherson Tape is kind of ahead of its time for the earliest of found footage movies. Pretty much the setup of the McPherson Tape, if you've never seen it before, was it's pretty much it feels like a home movie. You know, you're like watching it and you're like, should I be watching this? I feel like I'm watching somebody's home movie that I don't know about. Yeah, it's pretty much a home movie where they're celebrating like their niece's birthday party. There's some kind of turmoil between the brothers because you find out later on that their father just passed away. So it's just these three brothers, and the main one that's holding the camcorder is kind of the the bastard son, if you may. They pick on him a lot in this film. What ends up happening is the power ends up going out in their house, and they're doing some research, and then they see something land close to them, like near another residence. So they go to investigate, and what they end up discovering is it's a flying saucer, and that there's aliens. So they run back, and like, oh, maybe you just, maybe it was nothing. All of a sudden, everyone's about to leave and shit. And all of a sudden, you find out these aliens are trying to get into this family's house and pretty much abduct them. That is kind of the main setup of the film. Now, my thoughts on the film as a whole. Yeah, it feels very realistic in that sense where, it's kind of, early found footage. It's not all perfect. There's some cheesiness to it, especially when you actually get a good look at the aliens. They're pretty much costumes you buy at like iParty and shit like that in these outfits. Very low budget filmmaking here because it's shot on video, shot on beta actually. As I was listening to the director's commentary on this, because it was like a Betamax camcorder that they used. And but the thing with like the acting in this film, it kind of feels kind of more authenticated than what you usually get in like these type of shot on video movies, in that sense where I do feel like I'm actually watching somebody's home movie while I'm watching this movie. And it's kind of weird in that sense, but it's also kind of genuine for like the term that would later be known as found footage in a way. In that sense where, this came before Blair Witch. This came before it's not before Cannibal Holocaust. That's like where the term actually got its saying from, is that film. But in that sense where, I had an interesting time with this film, and I actually liked that there was special features on this release, and I actually did listen to the commentary with the director, and it was kind of made me like the film more in that sense where, I'm a sucker for like these do-it-yourself movies in general, as long as they're interesting and good in a sense. And this one doesn't overstay its welcome. It's only an hour long, really, so it's not like too like crazy in that sense. But overall, I had no problems with the McPherson Tape. I thought it was actually a very interesting take on a genre that would later go on to be kind of oversaturated. And, I kind of like the sense where this one feels like it's been done before, but when you think about it, this thing was ahead of its time back in the day. So I give it the respect for that alone. So, yeah, I do recommend this, especially if you're a fan of found footage films. Uh, this is an interesting one to watch because, it's before the term. This is before, like, the big, like, Wreck. This is before all the big found footage movies. And it feels probably the most genuine out of them because, they use, like, those HD cameras and those later day ones and shit like that. So this one feels actually like a found footage film in that sense. But, yeah, I recommend it. If you haven't seen the McPherson Tape, aka UFO Abduction, I actually do recommend this release. Uh, it's kind of weird when they put shot on video movies on Blu-ray, but it doesn't look, it's still dark and shit. You could see, like, maybe you're supposed to see something there, but then you're not. But overall, had fun. It's a good release, so I recommend it. Alright, guys, that's it for day 9. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with another one for you guys, so I'll see you then. Peace out.